Amit Gaurav. Okay, anyways, let's get started. How many of you all have attended classes regularly? Are you attending the other faculties classes? Yes, you all are attending. So, okay, so let's get started. I will be starting with section B. Okay, before I start the class, any questions for me? Anybody has any questions, any doubts, wants to ask me anything before I start the class? Anybody? Anybody has any doubt, any questions? No? Okay. So I will be doing, section B of part 1. Okay, so we'll start with the introduction of the topic. Let me just open the PowerPoint and let me just share it. Okay, can you all please confirm that you're able to see the PowerPoint? Seems to be a lot of technical issues
Yes,
today.
sir.
So just confirm that you're able to see the PowerPoint.
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay. So what do you understand by planning? Let's start with, what do you understand by planning? What is your, what's your view of what do you mean by planning? What does it mean to you? What does the word planning mean to you all?
So planning to achieve the required goal in
Yes,
terms of our reference.
so that is planning to achieve the goal. So what is
Yeah.
planning to you all?
Like 1 or 2 years where to be.
1 or 2
set
years
up
where to be.
set up
So
a process,
Yes.
to set up a
Planning is
process,
to be
how to achieve things.
how to
I mean,
achieve
planning
things.
is will
Okay.
will choose courses of action for the future.
Courses of action for the future. Okay.
Decision making.
Decision making. Right. Yes, you all are correct. So you all, all of this put together is planning. Okay. But planning is how and what to do for the future. Planning is always about the future. You need to remember that. Okay, you're not going to plan about the past. Past has already happened, right? Present, you're doing. So planning is always about the future. What, how, where, when, all of that. It's about the future. So whatever you're going to do in the future is planning. Okay, it need not only be a decision making. It could be anything. Whatever you are going to do in the future is planning. When you're thinking in the present that tomorrow I'm going to watch a movie, that is planning. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to go to a restaurant for breakfast, that is planning. 1 month down the line I'm going to write my exam, that's planning. Okay, 6 months down the line I want to be a CMA, that is planning. It's all about future. It is not about the present or about the past. Okay, planning is about the future. So what, how, where, when you're going to look at something about the future, that's about planning. Okay, so in terms of accounting, let us understand what planning is. Without planning, chances of success go down dramatically. Obviously, you are not better prepared. Okay, when you plan, you are better prepared. Okay, it is difficult to achieve what we do not know what we are supposed to be doing. So if you do not know what you want to achieve, you will not know what you're supposed to do. So if you don't have a vision, okay, if you don't have a statement or a strategy or a vision, then you don't know what to do. So if you don't know that you want to become a CMA, what will you be doing today? You will just be sitting here. You can zoom in on your system, Amish, because if I zoom, it'll go beyond the screen. It will go beyond the screen.
Okay. Okay, sir. No.
Right? So I need to keep it at a certain level. So like coming back. So if you do not know what your vision is, you will not know what to do. So if your vision is, to become a CMA, then only you know that you need to study for it, you need to solve questions, you need to attend classes. But if you don't know what your vision is, if you don't know what you're going to do 3 months down the line, you don't know how to achieve that. Okay? You need to have plans and strategies that will generate and continue to generate profits. So this is for a business. Okay. Now, if you are running a business and let us say this year you made a $10,000 profit, would you be happy making only $10,000 profit for all the future years? Or do you want to increase your profits? You obviously want to increase your profits, isn't it? You want better profits. So you want to increase your profits. So you need to have plans on how you're going to increase your profits. Do you need to invest more? Do you need to control your cost? Do you need to, increase your sales? What is it? So all that is a part of plans. You need different plans for different goals and time frames. So again, depending upon what you want to achieve in the future and when you want to achieve in the future. So there are two things to it. What and when. Okay. So I want to increase my profits. Okay. And I want to increase my profits in the next 3 years, next 3 months. What increase the profits? When is 3 months, 6 months, 3 years? What is the time frame? So based on that, my plan will differ because I cannot have one plan which will give me, which will suit all my goals. It has to accommodate the circumstances. It has to accommodate a lot of external factors along with the internal factors for me to achieve that, goal. So because of that, there has to be a different plan for a different purpose and a different time period. Okay? But one thing you need to do is, so you might have a higher goal. Okay, you might have an objective. So your objective might be to grow your profits. Okay, but how is it to grow it department wise? Is it to grow it business wise? Ultimately, all of them should congruent. There should be a congruence of the goal to increase the profits. So you might have different plans for different time frames, for different departments, for different reasons, but they all should work towards one common goal for a business. Okay, we are talking about a business here now. Okay, for an enterprise. So if you are going to have multiple, multiple goals, okay, and if each of the departments are going to work in different directions, then you're not going to achieve your common goal. You're not going to achieve the enterprise goal. So all the departments, all the segments, all the businesses should work in the same direction, not in different directions. So, for example, your aim is to become, your increase profits. If one department is working on decreasing the price of selling price while increasing the cost, and another department is working on reducing the cost by buying less. Okay, they are at loggerheads. They are not working in the same direction. So they have to work in the same direction where both the departments say, okay, we should control our costs and buy at a cheaper price, and at the same time try to maximize the selling price so that we get the maximum profit. Then only the enterprise's goal will be achieved. So now they are planning together. They are working together. Similarly, when you have company which has multiple, what you call it as multinational, where it has many branches in different countries. Okay, it'll have a lot of foreign exchange transaction. So using the foreign exchange transaction for a beneficial purpose in such a way that it is using the foreign exchange to buy raw materials from a place where it is cheaper to buy and selling its products in a country where it gets a better return, can help it maximize its profit. Now, here it is using the foreign exchange to maximize its profit. Okay, two different entities of the same business, okay, may work together to achieve the maximum profit goal. Okay, so all these are planning. How do you plan? How do you achieve your goal? What is your goal? How much time do you want to give to achieve that goal? What are the steps you're going to take to achieve that goal? all this is planning. So it is always about future. Okay? So what is the role of the management? There are two philosophies with respect to the role of management in reaching profit growth. Okay, one is market theory. It gives the management a passive role and views its function basically as making reactive decisions in response to environments, events as they occur. So you are not proactive, you are passive. Okay, you just wait to see what the market does and then react to that. So if the market reduces the price, you might also reduce the price. Okay, if there's a demand in the market, you might increase your production. If the market demand goes up, you might increase your production. So that's a market theory, which gives the management a passive role. Then there is an active role. Planning and control theory gives the management an active role that emphasizes the planning function of the management and its ability to control activities of the business. So what does this theory say? Even before the prices start coming down, you anticipate the price to fall. So you take steps to ensure that your cost is controlled so that you are able to meet the market price and yet maximize your profit. Okay. The other way around is, okay, now you want to expand your business. You want to increase your sales. So you don't wait for the demand to be there in the market. You start creating demand. How will you start creating demand? Let us say you have a product. You might introduce a variation of the product with additional features so that people come to you to buy the product for the additional features. So you're creating a demand. Okay. So best example, you take TVs. Okay. 10 years, 12 years back, TVs never had any software in it. Okay. Then one company introduced an Android TV. They introduced a TV with a software in it. So it created the demand. Okay, that is active because it wanted to do something different to increase its sales. So it created the demand by introducing a software for TVs, Android TV, and people started buying it because now they could eliminate one component. Okay, one component from the entire system, which was a Android smart box or a Chromecast, whatever you want to call it. They could eliminate that. Now the TV could do that work. So they created a demand for the product, and that they, how did they do it? They planned saying that we want to increase our sales. So for us to increase our sales, we need to differentiate our product from the regular products in the market. And for that differentiation, let us introduce a software into our TV. And they attracted customers to buy the product. They created the demand for the product. So that is planning. Okay. Market theories. Okay. Now today 50 TVs are selling. I will manufacture 50 TVs. When it becomes 70 TVs, I will manufacture 70 TVs. So it is reacting to the market. But activists creating the demand. Today I'm able to sell 50. How can I make that 70? I want to make it 70. So I need to do something to make so that the customers come to buy my product. So my sales become 70. So that is active. What is strategic plans now? So we'll talk about strategy a little. So we talked about, that's an overview of our planning. So planning is always about future. So what is strategic planning now? Strategic planning are always long term. Okay, they run into multiple years because strategies are based at taking the business to a particular level or a particular place. They are talking about taking the business, entire business to a particular level, to a higher level. Okay, so it is a long term. It is not something which can be done immediately because there are a lot of factors involved. Okay, there could be investment involved. There could be building new factories involved. There could be, political events involved. There could be, a lot of other external factors. There could be a lot of internal factors. So, like building your entire operations. For example, if it is a big company, a huge company, let's take a huge company like let's say TCS, okay, or let us say, Hindustan Unilever. So imagine if Hindustan Unilever wants to standardize its software for orders to be placed across the world. Okay. So first of all, it has to have a product, a software which suits all the regions of the business. Okay, it should suit the American region, it should suit the Asian region, it should suit the Australian region, it should suit the African region. So you have to have a software which suits all the regions, because each of these regions have their own ways of working, own pros and cons of operating in that market. So there were a lot of factors. Okay, so then it now wants to have a standard, like I said, ordering system. So first of all, it has to look what software will be suitable for it. Okay, is it an off-the-shelf software, or has the software got to be customized to its needs? Okay, now let us say it needs to be customized because it is very complicated. Then it has to look at what are the components which have to go into the software, what all is required, what is the necessity of having that software, how beneficial is it going to be to the company, what is the cost involved, are the benefits going to be commensurate with the amount of investment it is going to make in that, is it going to be worth investing, getting that customized software. Okay, how long is the software going to last, how frequently will it need to be updated, all of that. Then it has to look who's going to provide the software to it. Okay, so it'll have to call for multiple companies to provide their quote, so that it gets the cheapest and the best at the cheapest. And then they'll have to develop the software, they will have to test it, they will have to put it in real life scenario and see how it functions. Then there will be bugs, the bugs need to be ironed out before it can actually be rolled out. So this cannot be done in a few days or a few months time, it will take maybe a few years to do it. So that is why strategy plans are always long term. Okay, and because these involve a lot of money, because it involves the all the aspects of the business and a lot of the entire entities of the business. Okay, when I say entities, usually the subsidiaries, affiliates, and all of that, because it involves the entire gamut of the business. It is always done at the high level because these are high level decisions. A production supervisor cannot decide that he will produce only one product at all the factories. No, that cannot be done, isn't it? Because he is not having the authority and he does not have the information also to take such a decision. Okay? So these kind of strategic plans are always done at high level. They are more directional than operational. So usually they give direction to the lower one down. Okay, saying what is the goal, what is the mission of the organization, and what do they need to do to achieve it. Okay, so they might say, okay, now we want to be we want to capture a market share. So for us to capture a market share, there are two things: we need to be cost effective and we should have sufficient quantity of the product available. So they might give a direction saying that every department has to reduce the cost by at least 5%. Figure out where there is an opportunity to reduce the cost by 5%. So they give a directional. So strategic plans are always directional. Then they focus on capacity. What will we need to be able to do it in future? And also, is there any investment involved in it? So they also look at what is the requirement, what is the need. So it could be in the terms of capacity or it could be in terms of resources. Resources need not only be money, it could also be various other resources. Having raw material, okay, having sufficient quantities of raw material, ensuring that you have raw material readily available as and when needed to produce. So that could also be a capacity. Okay, and then all the strategic plans are always long-term business plans. So like I told you, they are all based on future and they look at where the entire business wants to go in the long run. So it could be becoming a market leader. It could be, becoming the best quality service provider. It could be anything. And they work towards that step by step. It is not something which happens overnight. You don't change things overnight. They work step by step to achieve those goals. Okay. So there were intermediate plans. So we talked about long-term plans. There was something also called as intermediate
sir.
plans. Yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
Go ahead.
good evening, sir. This is Sayyid Ubaid Ali. Sir,
Yes.
who's supposed to prepare the strategic plans?
It will usually be at the senior level management. So it could be anybody at senior level and upwards. It could be the board of directors. It could also be the CEO in consultation with his team of support executives. It is always at the high level. So it is senior level management and upwards. Okay, it
Okay.
is always
Okay, sir.
senior level management and upwards. So senior level upwards means executives, directors, all of those, CEOs.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Then comes the intermediate plans. Intermediate plans are medium term plans. Okay. Now I want to achieve, like I told you, I want to be cost effective. I want to be, the market leader in terms of price. For me to be a market leader in terms of price, I need to cut down my cost. Okay. Now I can't cut down my cost overnight. Right? I cannot say, from 10 rupees it is going to become, 5 rupees overnight. No, it cannot happen. It's very difficult. So what do? I make a plan saying that in the next 3 years, okay, my cost will come down from 10 to 7. Okay. Then from 3 years to 6 years, my cost will come down from 7 to 6 or 6.25. And then after that, in the next maybe 4 years, from 6 years to 4 years, I will be at a cost of 5. Now, how do I achieve it? So for me in the 3 years to bring it from 10 to 7, I have to look at areas where I can reduce my cost. Look at suppliers who can give me my raw material at a cheap. It has to be in sync. It has to be aligned with the mission's goal. Okay? If the mission's goal is to provide the best quality of the service or the product, and then if you're going to cost cut on the raw material quality, obviously you're not going to be in sync with the mission's goal. Okay? So you have to define, it has to be in sync with the mission's goals and company's missions and goals. The second part, analyze external competitive environment to identify opportunities and threats. So now you look at the external environment. Okay, how are the competitors, behaving, or what are the competitors doing? What happens if you implement this strategy? Okay, you might say, okay, I will reduce the price. If you might reduce the price by 100 rupees, the competitor might reduce the price by 200 rupees. So you need to keep that also in mind, because for you, it might not be feasible to reduce the price by 200. Okay, but for a competitor, it might be feasible because his factory is very old. All the machines are depreciated. Okay, so his overheads are low, but your factory is very new. There are a lot of overheads. So you might think about that. Okay, opportunities and threats. Analyze internal operating environment to identify strengths, weakness, and limitations. Nothing but SWOT analysis.
So,
Okay.
can I just one
Yes.
thing I want to clear out, sir? In the first point, you just mentioned missions and goals. Why not
Yes.
vision of the company?
Vision is very vast. Okay. Vision has a lot of other factors also in it. Vision has a lot of other factors. So it could be that, the founder of the company has something in his mind. Okay. So that could be the vision. Okay. So vision is a lot more encompassing. Vision includes your mission and goals.
True. Okay, sir.
Right. So analyzing internal operating environment to identify strengths, weakness, and limitations. That's nothing but a SWOT analysis. Part point 2 and point 3 put together is nothing but a SWOT analysis. Strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats. Part point 2 and point 3 put together. Point 4, formulate strategies that, consistent with the organization's mission and goals, will optimize the organization's strength and correct its weaknesses and limitations for the purpose of taking advantage of external opportunities while countering external threats. Yes, getting, so all the information which you got in point 1, 2, and 3, you are bringing that together to see what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, how you can exploit your strengths, and how you can correct your weaknesses. So you bring that all together now. Whatever you got in point 1, 2, and 3, you bring it together. Point 5, now it is time for action. You will put it into action. Okay, whatever you planned, whatever you put together in point 4, now it will be action. It is real work now. It is groundwork now. It is no longer on paper. It is now being implemented. It is implementation of all of that. Okay. So my strength is getting raw material at the cheapest price. So I will start buying raw material at the cheapest price. My strength is being creative. I will start introducing new features into my product. Okay. My weakness is that, it might be expensive to introduce a new feature. So I will work on reducing my cost by different methods. I might hire, or I might look ways of getting people who will work for lower price, lower salary for me. I might look at ways of, integrating back, what you call upstream and downstream integration, so that my costs are reduced and my features are more, cost effective. It could be back ending. So for example, if you're a mobile manufacturer, okay, you know that you need glass panels to manufacture, or you need panels, screens, isn't it? So Samsung did a backward integration. It set up a plant to manufacture screens, both for TV as well as for mobiles. And it set up another plant to manufacture chips which are required. So that is integration. By doing that, it became more cost effective, and it was able to give products at a cheaper price with a better feature. Okay. Samsung panels are used by almost all the other companies. Okay. I think there are only two companies which manufacture panels. One is Samsung and the other one is TCL. Most of the manufacturers of mobile phones or televisions buy their panels either from Samsung or from TCL. Okay. So it's integration. So what Samsung did, because it was integrated, it first bought LED. LCD became LED. Then it became QLED. Then AMOLED. Okay, so improving features. Now it was cost effective for Samsung to do all this because it was integrated. It was cheaper for it to invest in its R&D and create a variation of the product which it is selling, the screen which it's selling. It was able to create a variation of that and bring a better product into the market. Innovative. So better screen clarity. Okay? So all that is nothing but develop and implement chosen strategies. Okay?
So
So-
usually the additional features mobile come up with the very higher prices here, especially in KSA.
No, today man, you see which phone? You tell me. You see OnePlus. Okay, you
Like
see OnePlus.
Samsung.
You see.
Oh.
You take Samsung. You take Samsung
Yeah.
M51 and M31. Tell me what is the difference between these two? Both use the same processor. The only difference is the battery capacity. And the price
Okay,
is
sir.
more or less. See, the price will be plus or minus little bit will be there. Okay, you can't say it will be the exact price. Price will be little plus or minus, but it will be within your budget. See, it is not like M31 is $20,000 and M51 is $50,000. It is not like that, no. M31 may be 20,000 rupees. M51 may be 22,000, 23,000 rupees. That's all. It's
Yes,
within the range of 20
little
to 25.
difference. Yes,
Yeah,
little
20 to
difference. Yes,
25. So we look at a 20 to 25. It is not very vast.
yes.
Right? It is not like 20 and 50, isn't it? But if it is 20 and 22, you will even, so if you have a budget of 25,000, okay, let's say your budget is between 20 to 25,000, you will look at both M31 and M51, isn't it? Because both are within your budget. But if M31 was 20,000 and M51 was 50,000, will you even look at M51?
Definitely,
You will not.
definitely, sir.
You will not,
Definitely.
because it is beyond a budget, isn't it?
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes.
little bit here and there will be there, but it is within the same price range. That is why I said almost at the same price. I never said exactly at the same price. It is at almost at the same price.
Yes, sir. Yes.
You say, okay, by paying 2,000 rupees extra, I'm getting a newer version of the phone and I'm getting a better battery. So I might as well pay the 2,000 extra, right?
Right,
Look at
sir. Right,
fast
sir.
charging. Fast charging, you look. Does it make a difference whether your phone charges in 1 hour or whether it charges in 5 hours? At the end of it, the phone is charging, isn't it? But why are you paying a little bit more? It is a convenience for the fast charging, isn't it? So that is how you look at it. Yeah.
Clear, sir. Clear.
who asked me that question. I've got so many people, I don't know who's asking me the questions. So please forgive me for that. Right. So defining mission and goals. That's the first step. Okay, the first step in strategic planning process. So what do? You set the global goals for the company. The reason why the company exists. Most of the time, it is to make profit. Okay? Most of the time. I'm not saying always, most of the time. If we do not know where we are supposed to be going, we will probably not get there. Nor will we know if we do. Okay? So I want to be a $1 billion company. If I don't know that I want to be a $1 billion company, I can never become a $1 billion company. And even if I become a $1 billion company, I will never know that I've achieved my goal. Right? So that is what it means. We need to know our mission, vision, values, goals. So Rizwan, here comes a question of vision. Like I told you, vision is more encompassing. Okay? And these are in the mission statement. What does the company want to become? The company wants to become a $1 million or a $1 billion, revenue company in the next 5 years' time. Okay? That's the mission, the goal. Right? So what is the mission statement? The company's mission statement provides a context within which its strategies will be formulated. A statement of the company's reason to be. Why should it exist? Because it wants to become a $1 billion company. Its vision or a statement of a desired future state. Sorry, Rizwan, I was wrong. The mission includes the vision, not the other way around. It's the mission which includes the vision. Okay, its vision or the statement of a desired future state. High revenue company. That's the desired state. High revenue company, $1 billion company, $1 billion club. Right? I want to be a part of the $1 billion club. I want to be a 3 trillion market capitalization. TCS, that was not the mission, but I'm just giving you an example. TCS, Reliance, and there's one more company which has a $1 trillion market capitalization. A state
Infosys?
of, sorry? No, it's not Infosys. Infosys never got that. A statement of the organization's values. Okay? If you don't have values, there are no ethics. Okay? Nobody will trust your company. Nobody will believe in your company. Nobody will believe in your products. So if there are no values, then it is very difficult for that company to survive. A statement of organization's values.
So values in other way, goodwill, you mean?
Not only goodwill, it can be anything else also. It could be, it leads to goodwill, but it is not goodwill. It leads to goodwill. Okay,
Okay, sir. Okay, okay.
See why? So if I don't know how many of you all buy Tata salt. Okay, in your house, if you buy Tata salt, why do you buy only Tata salt? Why don't you buy some loose salt? Why don't
Because
you
it
buy
is
the loose salt?
renowned in the market.
Is it because it is renowned in the market? Is that
Yes,
the
sir.
reason?
So it's
I don't think
brand value. It's brand value, sir.
Is it because of the brand? Is it only because of the brand? Why do you buy Tata
It's
salt?
more
Quality.
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 What do you
Trust.
mean by
Quality.
quality? What do you mean by
So
quality?
quality means maybe
Standard.
the one you, yeah. So maybe the one you get it aftermarkets, they do not contain maybe iodine or something, but the one you buy maybe Tata or maybe the other one. So
It's the purity, isn't it? It's
purity,
the
yeah,
purity.
yeah,
It is not
yeah.
adulterated,
Yeah.
right? That is why you buy it, isn't it?
Yeah,
That
so someone
is what
rightly mentioned trust or purity. Yeah.
trust. That is the value. Okay, because that's the value the company has. The value is this, that it will give you a genuine product. It will give you a pure product. That is why you go and buy it, isn't it? Suppose you buy Tata Salt today, okay, it is pure. Next time you go to buy that, and let us say you get stones out of that, and third time you go to buy it, there is sand in it. The fourth time, will you buy Tata Salt? Will you buy it? The first time it
Never,
was
sir.
pure.
Never.
You will never
Never.
buy it. Why? Because the value of being pure, giving you a pure product is not there, right? So that is the statement, organization's value. The value could be that, come what may in the organization, okay, come what may, we will hire equal women employees, right? So you go into the company and you see that 90% of them are male employees. Will a women employee apply over there? Or any women employee out of the 10% which is working, will she refer her friend there?
No, sir.
That is value, right? That is value of the organization. A statement of its major goals. What is it that it wants to achieve? These are all mission statements. Company's reason. Okay? And the future state. Where does it want to be? What are the values of the organization? Statement of organized values. And statement of major goals. So how is it? Statement of major goals is nothing but your step. It is your ladder for your mission. It becomes a ladder. So I want to be a $1 billion company. So for me to become a $1 billion company, I have 5 sectors. Each sector should grow at 10% revenue, so that in the next 5 years, the entire business can be a $1 billion company. That's a major goal. Each sector growing at 10% revenue. It's a major goal. That's the ladder. And when the ladder is built, it reaches the mission. It becomes a $1 billion company. Okay? That's about mission statement. The reason to be needs to be customer centered rather than product centered. If you're going to be product centered and if you're not going to be customer centered, it's going to be very difficult for you to survive. Okay. In other words, the company should be a business not to sell widgets, but to satisfy customer need for the benefits that the company can supply through its widgets. So widgets is the example here. Okay. If I'm going to manufacture a product which nobody is going to use, okay, if I'm going to manufacture a product which nobody is going to use, do you think I'm going to be a successful business?
No.
Obviously not, isn't it? Because nobody needs it. That is being product centered. I'm manufacturing a product. Okay, I'm product centered, but nobody's going to use that. On the other hand, okay, on the other hand, I manufacture a product which everyone wants to use. Everybody needs it. Okay, do you think I'm going to be a successful business?
Yes,
Obviously,
sir.
obviously, because without efforts, I will be able to sell my product because the customer needs it. It's customer centered, right? So, let's take an example. Let us say I have a TV. Okay, what is the purpose of a TV? What is the purpose of a TV?
Entertainment.
To watch channels or
Yeah.
watch content, right? That is the purpose of a TV. Now I manufacture a TV which is very good looking. Okay, superb. It is like a art piece, but you cannot watch any channels on it. Will you buy such a TV? Will you buy? It's a
No, sir.
superb product.
Never.
It's a superb product. It is unbreakable. Okay, it is it is very futuristic design, everything, but you cannot watch channels on it. Will you buy the TV? You won't. That is being product centered. On the other hand, I give you a TV with which is not only unbreakable, which is also good looking, but at the same time, the clarity of the TV is superb. It is very, very good. It is the best in the market. Will you buy the TV? Everybody will buy the TV, right? Because it not only does that what it is asked, what it is required to do, but it is better than that because it is unbreakable now. It is futuristic in design. So it is more than what the customer expects. So that is being customer centered. Okay? What is our business? What will it be? What should it be? in answering the questions, they should think in terms of customer. What is it the customer wants? How much is the customer willing to pay for it? What is the value the customer sees in the product? Okay? This is what you will look at. What customer groups are being served? So what kind of customers are you going to sell your product to? Is it the elite customers, or is it the masses that you're going to sell the product? Somebody whose salary is only 20,000 rupees, if you're going to ask him to buy a TV worth 10 lakh rupees, is he going to buy? Obviously not, right? So what customer groups are you going to serve? But on the other hand, somebody whose salary is 20,000 rupees, and if you offer him a TV for about 30,000, 35,000 rupees, probably they will buy it because it's a one-time purchase. They're not going to buy every day a TV. Okay? So they will say, okay, we will save and we will buy. So what kind of customer groups are being served? What customer needs are being served? So I gave an example. Customer needs is to watch channels. And if you give them a TV which is not going to show them the channels, but it is very futuristic in design, it's unbreakable, nobody's going to buy it. Okay. And by what means, skill, knowledge, or distinctive competencies are customers needs being served? How are you going to serve the customer? By giving a lifetime warranty. Okay. By giving them a product which is superior. It could be anything. Okay. You'll have to look by what means. Will be broad because things change and specifics of companies' operations may change over time. So you will have a broad framework for all of this. It will not be specifically to this. You will put in together, okay, I'm going to serve customers whose salary is in the range of 20 to 50,000 rupees. Okay? That can change because people's salaries go up. People lose jobs. They don't get the money. Like what happened in COVID, they lost the jobs, right? Or when the economy is booming, people's salaries go up. Instead of buying a 25,000 watt TV, they will buy even a 50,000 watt TV. It is change. So a broad framework you will give. Okay, I'm going to manufacture TVs between 20,000 to 1 lakh. I will have 5 different models to meet the customer's needs. Somebody who wants TV in 20, somebody who wants TV in 40, somebody who wants TV in 50, somebody who wants TV in 1 lakh. I will have 5 models. So that is a broad framework because this will change. It will again next year, 5 years down the line, you might decide no, the high-end TV does not sell that much. So I will manufacture TVs which are in the range of 20 to 50,000 only. But I will have 4 models in that. So it will change, but a broader framework. It is depending upon what the customer wants. Company's vision. The vision is what the company would like to achieve. It should be challenging. Okay? It should be achievable, but challenging. You all have heard of SMART goals, isn't it? SMART goals. All of you all have heard SMART goals. What does SMART stand for?
Simple, measurable, attainable,
Hmm?
and result oriented and time.
Yes. So your vision should be like that. You cannot have a vision which cannot be achieved. It is difficult. You cannot have a vision that, I want to build a skyscraper on the moon. Do you think it is achievable? When nobody has even gone there? Or not even one house has been built there? People have gone there, sorry. But not even one house has been built there. Do you think building a skyscraper in moon is achievable? It doesn't make sense, right? I want to call, have a villa in, let us say, Saturn. Yeah, that's a statement. Doesn't make sense. A good vision statement should challenge the company by stating an ambitious future state that will motivate employees at all levels. It should motivate its employees. The employees should feel that yes, this is something we can contribute to. If we work together, we can achieve this. If I give my best, this can be achieved. Drive the strategies that the company's management will formulate and implement in order to achieve the vision. The strategies that the company's management will formulate and implement, it will be towards achieving that mission and vision. Okay, the strategy, it will be realistic strategies. It will not be something which is imaginary. It will be realistic. Yes, it is doable. That is what you will look at. Okay? Okay, so I will stop here. Okay, we have reached our time limit. I will stop here. We will continue tomorrow. Any questions till here?
No, sir, no questions.
Clear? Everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to talk to a few people. If I just name them, can you all stay back and rest of them can log out? So Ankita, can you please stay back? Abdul Samad, Rafiq, Sana, Suganya, and Obed Ali. Can these people stay back and rest of you all, you can log off? Rest of you all can log off.